We have been tracking Heron since its earlier days. This is, a quick Series B maybe in succession to the fundraising you did already. But importantly, you bring Andreessen in through the American Dynamism Fund, a new investor. Let's start with that. Why go there?
First of all, thanks, Ed, for having me again on the program. I'm super proud to represent Heron on this major milestone today. We're focused on building new technology and manufacturing in the United States, and that's really aligned with A16Z's thesis through their American Dynamism Fund. And we just found alignment on our future vision of how we can revolutionize the electricity sector in the U.S. together.
In the time that I've known you, but particularly since you've been working on Heron, you've been pretty transparent. What you're trying to do is rethink a technology, essentially, and where it fits into modernizing grids, data center, the big energy capacity build-out, which we'll get to.
Yeah.
Is there something more than just the capital that A16Z can help you with there?
They're an amazing firm. They've got resources across recruiting, in finance, in policy. They're great thought partners for us, along with our existing investor team,
right,
as we set off on this ambitious adventure.
So you're kind of still in R&D phase right now. Maybe just explain what Heron is and what Heron does, and then we can go from there.
Sure. What Heron's trying to do is take really 4 decades of innovation in power semiconductors that have happened in parallel to the Moore's Law improvement in transistors that are in compute, and bring them to the core of the grid. Right now, the grid is using largely mechanical devices that were invented a century ago. And that is still what's underpinning everything in the power distribution sector. But at the same time, we've leveraged amazing improvements in power transistors, truly orders of magnitude capability and cost reductions that have enabled all the innovation at the grid's edge. Compute, consumer electronics, IT, communications. Right. We're bringing that to a sector that hasn't seen much change, which is the electricity sector itself.
You have made some commercial progress, basically, even if you're in R&D phase. One of the case studies we've talked about previously is with Crusoe, which is in the AI data center context.
Yeah.
But just in layman's terms, where would Heron fit in the build-out of a new data center?
Absolutely. So what Heron is doing is really 3 things for a data center developer. First, we're offering them an alternative supply. Right now, they're waiting for equipment that's largely produced overseas, potentially 2 or 3 years. We're building it at home, and we're building it with completely different supply chain that's way more scalable. No more steel and oil, replacing it with silicon and software. Second, we're simplifying what they need to build out. We're removing 70% of the gear on the way from the grid to the chip. That means less labor to find in the field, less time in the construction schedule. And the third thing we're doing is reducing the losses from grid to chip by a factor of 4, which means for the same power interconnection, which, as we know, can be difficult, you can produce that many more tokens.
Very quickly, what is the go-live date? When is this going to be deployed commercially, do you think?
Yeah, we're going to deploy ourselves this year with early customers, with revenue units in early 27, and then mass production in late 27.
Data center gets a lot of the focus. The other big story, which I think you'll appreciate, is what is happening with energy generation, energy storage, right?
Yeah.
Elon Musk has this 100 gigawatt solar goal.
Yeah.
You ran that business on the energy side at Tesla for a long time. You understand the reality of that number. Please also feel obliged, to jump in where Heron would fit in with that. But what do you make of that goal?
Oh, I think it's fantastic. I mean, globally, we saw over 0.5 terawatt, 500 gigawatts of solar installed last year, and that number isn't going to go down anytime soon. Really, the electricity sector is at a pivotal moment. Electricity has meant prosperity and growth for people all over the world for the past decades. But now it's at this juncture, right? We've got AI that needs way more power, and electricity, abundant renewable electricity, can be a path to an all-sustainable, all-electric energy economy. And to do that, we need more renewable energy and we need more electricity
It is
distribution.
100 gigawatts in the United States, like, achievable?
Oh, I mean, of course. You know, if you put your mind to something, no matter how difficult it is, you can accomplish it. I can say that from 2 decades of experience scaling new technologies from nothing to, millions of units. Yeah, like, I think it's possible.
And that would be an addressable market for Heron?
100%. Yeah, we're going after solar, we're going after batteries, data centers, really anywhere where you need to go from DC to medium voltage AC. That's what Heron Link is for.